Well, thank you. In the spirit with the work on the EU Digital Wallet, we seem to be quite self-organizing. So I'm from NOBID. It's one of the other the large-scale pilots. It's worth noting what was said by EVC earlier here, that this is a cooperation that spans across Europe. The NOBID group has been working initially set out focusing on payments. That was the main mission. But we also had delved into quite a lot of other use stories, most connected to banking and other issues like that. There will be a session tomorrow with EVC and NOBID together at 12 o'clock in room 8, I believe. That will spend a whole hour where you will hear Thomas, Maria, and Chiara speaking about the payment use cases across the two consortia. So I will not dwell too much into the details on that here, since I only have 5 minutes. But I'm going to talk a little bit in the start on experience with working in a consortium like this. Because if you look on the map, you can see that we have participants all the way from Iceland in the north, all the way to Italy in the south. And that more or less mirrors the landscape which you have around payment and banking in Europe. You have many small entities, but you also have very large ones. So when we compared our consortium, we found out that the German Saving Banks Association has exactly the same number of employees that the country of Iceland has inhabitants. So you have this large span, and you're also working across different national payment schemes, trying to find ways to harmonize them and seeing them together. This reflects also the setup in the consortium, which are both heavily focused on member states, because it is a legislative obligation for the member states actually to implement the wallet. We're going to build this in real life, and I think most of the member states that take part in NOBID have also been able to focus on the core functionality of the wallet, doing authentication, doing signing, doing onboarding, for instance. To onboard 400 million users on high security level high, that's not a trivial task. In addition, we also have worked on the use case itself. We needed to bring in some of the key players around the payment scheme, but we also needed some of the people with experience on building wallet, building signing, building all of these kind of components that has brought this together. And I think that is what has done our work quite successful, is that we have this group of both private entities, but also public agencies which are directly responsible for the wallet implementation. And that builds very heavily on the experience that this is actually quite a private-public endeavor. The whole effort around the European wallet would be that, because most will have components coming from the different areas. Working together around payment, you need to talk to a lot of actors. So one important part of a consortium had actually been something boring like an advisory board, taking in a discussion for payment actors across the European space. We have spent a lot of time aligning with others, which we actually have had quite good results on. Where we now have a common understanding on how payment can be done with wallets, working greatly together with our colleagues in EWC and others. And I think this is a lesson to be learned from pilots like this, that it's actually possible to reach a consensus on a quite difficult topic when you work together and you mature it through doing practical work. We have looked at the usability of the wallet, using users and usability testing. We find quite interesting results. Many users find the wallet quite easy to use. Payment functionality, for instance, scores very high on usability. There are challenges, for instance, onboarding and grasping the concept of now having a PID inside a wallet and how that relates to how you have done EID earlier. We have developed wallet within a consortium, and the ending meeting we had as kind of comment that, oh, all of them look the same. And then we spread across the room and we were very happy because that is the point. We're going to build harmonized solution. They're going to be usable across Europe. We have worked together with the Commission, and I think that will continue both as member states and in the new consortia, both on the architectural framework, the reference implementation, and how wallet will now be implemented. We have tested the payment process. We will have more about that tomorrow. Remote signing builds on how we do signing already in several countries using traditional EID, but it functions rather well with a wallet. So I think when we look at this in large, working in a large-scale pilot like NOBID and the others, and also cooperating together with the Commission and the legislative side and how we develop requirements functions quite well. So we are looking eagerly now forward to the next round of large-scale pilots and how all the partners in NOBID would actually continue working on payment, both in aptitude and in rebuild. So I think the work will carry on, and we will be able maybe to see payments in the European wallet not that far ahead in the future. So I think that was my 5 minutes. So thank you very much, and looking forward to discussing with you later. Thank you.